This is an audiobook created by Subconscious Key Studio. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Beneath the sound of my voice, beneath the quiet hum of your own world, can you feel it? A longing not just for your own peace, but for a different world. A world where sorrow is met with solace, where confusion is met with clarity, where no one has to walk in darkness alone. This longing, this ache in the human heart for the well-being of all, has a name. It is the seed of the Bodhisattva, and it is a seed that, once watered with intention, can grow into the most audacious, the most beautiful, the most impossible promise a soul can ever make. A promise not to escape the world, but to embrace it so fully that your very life becomes a response to its cries. This promise is crystallized in 4 lines, 4 phrases that are less a statement and more a universe to be lived into. I will speak them slowly, and I invite you not to analyze them, but to feel their weight, their scale, in your own heart. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Let that first vow echo in the silence. Numberless. Every being that has ever drawn breath, every heart that has ever beat, every creature seen and unseen, across the dizzying expanse of time and space. To vow to save them all is not a strategic plan. It is a leap of faith. It is the universe becoming conscious of itself within you and choosing compassion as its fundamental purpose. The vows continue. Delusions are endless. I vow to cut through them. The tangled roots of greed, hatred, and ignorance in every mind, including our own, we vow to untangle them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Every teaching, every moment of beauty, every encounter, every failure, we vow to see it as a door to awakening. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. We vow to walk until our very footsteps are the path itself. And here, right here, is the great and liberating paradox. The vow is designed to be unachievable. Its fulfillment is not the point. Its power is in the orienting. Imagine a star, Polaris, the North Star. No sailor ever expects to reach the star. But by fixing their course upon its unchanging light, they can navigate the wildest, darkest seas. The Bodhisattva vow is our North Star. It gives us a true direction. It means our value is not measured by the final outcome, a scorecard of souls saved, but by the quality of our journey. Are we compassionate in this moment? Are we present with this one person? Are we faithful to the intention right now? This releases us from the crushing weight of results. We become like a gardener who tends the soil, who waters the seeds, not obsessed with the harvest, but in love with the very act of nurturing life itself. But to navigate by a star, you must understand the nature of the sky. To pour yourself out endlessly for this world, you must know the source from which you are pouring. Otherwise, the heart will surely break. The mind will surely tire. So we must now look deeply into the very nature of reality itself. We must learn the Bodhisattva's greatest secret, how to hold the tear-stained face of the world in one hand and the boundless, silent peace of the cosmos in the other. The Bodhisattva walks with 2 feet. Feel that in your body. One foot, the foot of compassion, presses firmly into the rich, moist earth of the relative world. This is the world of stories, the world of names and forms. It is the world where a child is born and we give them a name. It is the world where a loved one dies and our grief is a real, physical ache. It is the world of morning coffee, of traffic jams, of laughter with friends, of the very real sting of betrayal. This world is valid, its suffering is real. To deny it is not wisdom, it is coldness. This is where the Bodhisattva acts, and the other foot, the foot of wisdom, rests effortlessly in the open sky of the ultimate. This is the view from the mountain top. When you look at a forest, you don't see separate, permanent trees. You see a dancing, interdependent, flowing ecosystem. A tree is the sun, the rain, the soil, the air. Look at your own hand. It is the food you ate, the ancestors who came before you, the air you breathe. Everything is empty of a separate, solid self. Everything is interconnected. This is the realm of shunyata, emptiness, a profound, silent, and peaceful unity that underlies all the coming and going. This is where the Bodhisattva rests. There is a story, a myth that is more true than fact, that illustrates this perfect union. It is the story of Avalokiteshvara, whose name means the one who hears the cries of the world. After taking the Great Vow, she looked out, she listened, and she heard it, the immense, swirling symphony of suffering. The roar of wars, the whisper of lonely hearts, the silent tears hidden behind smiling faces. The weight of it was astronomical, and her human heart, though vast, quailed before the infinite task. In that moment of compassionate despair, her being could not contain the contradiction, and her head shattered into 1,000 pieces. But this is not a story of failure. It is a story of transformation. From the fragments of her old, limited self, a new form was born. The Buddha Amitabha, representing limitless light, gathered the pieces. He did not restore one head, he created 11, so she could hear the cries from every direction without turning away. And from her body, 1,000 arms sprouted, and in the palm of each hand, an eye opened. The eyes see the specific, relative suffering of each being. The arms reach out with 1,000 different skillful means. A cup of water, a healing touch, a firm boundary, a word of truth. But the 11 heads, they hold the ultimate view. They know the silent, empty, luminous nature of the one who is crying and the one who is helping. They know it is all a dance of the same primordial light. The shattering was not an end. It was the necessary breaking open for a wisdom-informed, limitless compassion to be born. So how does this feel in a human life? With the wisdom of the ultimate, you know there is no separate, fragile you that is being drained or burdened by the world's pain. This is the great protection against burnout and martyrdom. It brings a lightness, a freedom, even in the midst of intense service. You are not a savior, you are a manifestation of life helping itself. And with the compassion of the relative, you feel the pain of the world intimately. You feel your friend's heartbreak as if it were your own. You see the injustice in the world, and your blood stirs to action. You act as if the self and others are absolutely real. because in the world of form, they are. You live in the as if. It is like being a master actor on the stage of life. You fully embody your role. You laugh, you cry, you love your stage partners. But backstage, in the quiet of your own heart, you never forget you are also the actor, and that the play is not the totality of who you are. This is the liberation. You can engage with the world completely, but you are not imprisoned by it. Now we have our map. We have our North Star, and we understand the lay of the land. But a map is useless if you don't know how to walk. Compassion is the walking, and not all steps are skillful. How do we ensure that our helping hand is truly a healing touch and not a clumsy blow disguised as love? How do we practice a compassion that is wise and sometimes necessarily fierce? Let us define our terms. The word compassion is often softened into a kind of sentimental pity. True compassion, karuna, is anything but soft. It is strong. It is clear-eyed. It is the heart's natural, intelligent response to suffering, like the hand that jerks back from a flame. It is active. It has two wings. The first is the deep, resonant feeling with the other, the calm in compassion, the width. The second is the fierce, unwavering intention to alleviate the suffering, the passion. It doesn't just seek to mop up the water on the floor. It looks to fix the leaking pipe. It has the courage to engage with the root cause, not just the symptom. And this is where we must confront the shadow. The brilliant Tibetan teacher Churgyam Trungpa Rinpoche called it idiot compassion. It is a compassion that has forgotten its other wing, the wing of wisdom. It is the desire to be nice, to be liked, to avoid conflict. It is the urge to make the surface-level pain disappear for everyone, including ourselves, without regard for the deeper, underlying truth. Idiot compassion is, at its core, often a subtle form of selfishness. It's about managing our own discomfort. We enable a destructive behavior because confronting it would be messy and difficult. We say yes when a no is what is truly needed, because we want to be seen as the good guy. It is giving an addict money for food, knowing it will likely fuel their addiction, because you can't bear to see them in withdrawal right now. True compassion might be driving them to a rehab center, even if they scream at you all the way there. This is why the Bodhisattva's compassion must sometimes wear the armor of fierceness. A loving no can be a more profound gift than a weak yes. Allowing someone to experience the natural consequences of their actions is not cruel. It is respectful of their capacity to learn. It is the compassion of the parent who lets the toddler fall after they insist on walking, so they learn balance. It is the compassion of the friend who says, "I love you too much to watch you destroy yourself. This ends now." This fierce compassion is the most difficult to practice, for it requires us to hold our own heart steady in the face of another's anger, disappointment, or temporary hatred. It is the compassion that builds character, that demands growth, that says, "I believe in your capacity to be better than this." And from where do we draw the strength for such fierce love? From the same source. from a radical, unshakable compassion for this being right here yourself. To ignore your own exhaustion, to override your own boundaries, to criticize your own mistakes with harshness. This is to commit idiot compassion against yourself. It is to poison the well from which you draw water for others. Tending to your own garden is not a distraction from helping the world. It is the first and most sacred act of service. A rested, resourced, and compassionate you is the most powerful gift you can offer a suffering world. So let us now dissolve the final separation between the spiritual and the everyday. The throne of the Bodhisattva is not in a distant paradise. It is in the driver's seat of your car. It is in the kitchen over a sink of dishes. It is in the line at the bank. Avalokiteshvara's 1,000 arms are your 2 hands, and her 11 heads are your one beautifully imperfect human mind when it is infused with this intention. The parent, jolted awake at 3 a.m. for the 4th time, whose body is heavy with exhaustion, but who gathers the crying child into their arms, whose warmth becomes the entire universe of safety for that little one, that is not a chore. That is a sacred ritual. That is a bodhisattva fulfilling their vow. The cashier, whose feet ache, who sees the customer fumbling with coupons, their face flushed with embarrassment, and who says, "Take your time, dear, we've got all day." With a warmth that is utterly genuine in that moment, they are not a minimum wage employee. They are a bestower of dignity, a calm harbor in a frantic world. The person who chooses to speak up in a meeting, not for personal gain, but to defend a colleague who is being unfairly treated, risking their own social capital to create a circle of protection. That is fierce compassion in a modern suit. Let us practice now. Let's try Tonglen, the alchemy of the heart. Find your breath. Now, bring to mind a being you love or even yourself carrying a burden. It could be a small worry or a great grief. As you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in that specific suffering. Don't be afraid. You are not taking it on. You are providing a vast, open space for it to be held and transformed. Imagine it as a dark, heavy, hot smoke. Welcome it in. Now, as you breathe out, send out everything that is good, clean, and healing. Your peace, your joy, your strength. Imagine it as a cool, bright, brilliant light flowing out to them, to you, to all. You are a transformer. You breathe in the relative truth of pain, and you breathe out the ultimate truth of boundless, luminous peace. You are, in this very moment, fulfilling the vow. And here is a practice for your very next conversation. I call it the ministry of presence. Before you speak, set an intention. For these next 2 minutes, my only job is to fully receive this person. Put down your phone, turn your body towards them, soften your gaze. Listen to their words, but also to the music beneath the words, the emotion, the unspoken plea. Do not formulate your reply, just receive. In that space of pure, undivided attention, you are performing a miracle. You are making another human being feel truly, utterly, and completely real. And in that moment, you are the Bodhisattva who hears the cries of the world, and you are answering them with the simple, profound power of your presence. Never believe that a small act is insignificant. A moment of patience, a withheld judgment, a smile offered to a stranger. These are the subtle, powerful ripples that reshape the world. You will never know how far the ripples travel. The kind word you offer today may be the hidden strength that allows someone to choose kindness tomorrow in a situation you will never see. This path is woven from these tiny, invisible threads of grace. It is not about the grand gesture, but the cumulative power of a million tiny, compassionate intentions, strung together like pearls to form a life of profound meaning. So we return to the ocean, vast, impossible, deep, and we hold our small spoon. The Bodhisattva knows the ocean cannot be emptied, and yet they bend down, they dip their spoon, and they pour it out with love. They walk the path not to reach an end, but because the walking itself is a beautiful way to live. Your life, with all its messy, glorious, heartbreaking, and joyful moments, is your vow. Your awakened heart is your wisdom. And your very next breath, your very next choice is the entire path, shining right here in the palm of your hand.